This is how Mourinho's tactics are taking Roma to the glory. First, we are gonna analyze Roma's build-up. In order to understand better, we are gonna divide the field in 4 zones. When Rui Patricio tried to play out from the back in zone A, the opponent usually pressed with 2 or 3 players. However, Roma still have numerical superiority because they have the 3 center-backs plus the goalkeeper. When a free center-back receives the ball, Mancini moves to zone B while Zalewski moves to zone C. Spinazzola stays in zone B. Matic tries to drop back to create a passing line, while Cristante and Pellegrini try to move to zone D to drag the opponent's midfielders, while the strikers usually try to keep the defensive line in zone D. All of these movements are performed in order to free zone C, because usually Pellegrini drops back in this zone and receives the ball free. On the right side, Zalewski usually tries to give width to the team, while on the left side, Spinazzola tries to move to zone D, but sometimes one striker moves to the left side. We can see that Mancini is moving to zone B, Zalewski is moving to the opponent's half. Pellegrini and Shaarawy are trying to drag the opponent's defensive line to free zone C. As a consequence, when he receives the ball, he has time and space to play to the sides. This time Matic drops back near the center-backs to drag one midfielder and free the zone C for Pellegrini. When Zalewski progresses with the ball, the strikers and midfielders move inside to attract the opponent's fullback and free space for Zalewski. The times they can't free zone C, Pellegrini drops back to receive the ball and play long balls to the strikers. Another variation that Roma uses to progress is by dropping back the midfielders and wing-backs. This attracts to the opponent's midfielders, therefore the strikers and Pellegrini have the same number of players in the opponent's half. 3 players drop back to zone B. As a consequence, the center-back play long and Roma have the same number of players than the opponent. A great combination between Abraham and Dybala free Pellegrini. The 3 strikers attack the spaces, thus one player receives free, while the strikers inside overcame the opponent's center-backs. Roma's defensive structure is with a 1-5-3-2. They don't press high and allow the opponent to progress to their half. However, in this zone they try to surround the possessor and start the offensive transition. This time they lost the ball in the opponent's half. However, as soon as this happened, they surrounded the possessor with 5 players and start the offensive transition. Also, it's important how the center-backs jump to the pressure against the opponent's midfielders, and this helped them to recover the ball. In this phase, Mourinho's players are smart to attack the spaces and give width to the team. When Mourinho is losing the game, Roma accumulates players in the final third. This helped them to recover the ball near the opponent's box, but also to have more chances in crosses. The opponent cleared the ball, but Roma had 3 players to win the second ball. Cristante moves inside and this attracts to the opponent's fullback and winger. Therefore, Shaarawy and Mancini are free to play a cross. In set pieces, Roma is also strong because the 3 possible receptors usually fight for the ball and they are supported by their teammates because they surround the possessor to create a passing line or to recover the ball quickly. The midfielders like Matic are smart to progress with the ball because they attract to 2 or 3 players and this free the wing back. For the crosses, Roma usually plays 6 players in the opponent's box. Again, Matic support the winger in the left side. Roma had 6 players in the opponent's box. Matic attracted 2 players and freed the winger for the cross, while Spinazzola moved outside and this creates a space for Dybala. This player is trying to cover the passing line to Dybala. Yet this free Pellegrini, who played fast with Dybala and scored. Leave your thoughts about Mourinho's tactics, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.